Hi, this video is about a bird's eye view of Hartford, Connecticut that was published in Boston in 1877 by O.H. Bailey and Company. Bird's eye views were popular in the United States in the decades after the Civil War, helping communities advertise themselves. O.H. Bailey was prolific, creating 374 panoramic views of different cities and towns. This particular view of Hartford from 1877 is available online at the Library of Congress website. I've put the link in the description below. It is a highly detailed depiction showing the landscape and almost every building that existed in the city in that year, so many of which are now lost. It showed neighborhoods like the old East Side and the riverfront along the Connecticut River, which would be lost to urban renewal in the 20th century. It also shows the state capitol, which was still a quite new building at the time this map was produced. And it also gives a snapshot of a moment in time in the process of development of the nearby Frog Hollow neighborhood, which was not yet filled in with buildings at the time this view was produced. There's a lot we could talk about in this bird's eye view, but for this video I've picked out just 5 things, which I hope you'll find interesting. And I'm going to make another video soon with 5 more things, and I could go on, but let's stick to 5 for this particular video. In 1877, people traveling between Hartford and East Hartford crossed the Connecticut River over a wooden-covered bridge. The earliest version of this bridge went back to 1818, and it was enlarged several times, even to accommodate trolley cars. Mark Twain mentioned this bridge in a speech in 1882. He said, "And we have an antiquity here, the East Hartford Bridge. Now let me beseech you, don't go away without seeing that tunnel on stilts. You may think it a trifle, but go see it. Think what it may be to your posterity generations hence, who come here and say, 'There's that same old bridge. It is coeval with the flood and will be coexistent with the millennium.'" Well, actually, Mark Twain was being optimistic there because the bridge didn't last much more than a decade after his speech. It was destroyed in a massive fire on May 17, 1895. The bridge, though, would be replaced by a massive stone arch bridge completed in 1908 that was officially named the Bulkeley Bridge in 1922, and as we know, it survives today. So the bird's eye view captures the old covered wooden bridge 18 years before its eventual destruction. The bird's eye view shows what we now call the Old State House. In 1877, the Old State House was serving as City Hall, which it remained until the current municipal building was completed in 1915. The view shows that there was another building filling up the lawn on the east side of the Old State House. This now lost building was the French Second Empire-style post office that was started in 1873 and took a decade to complete. The west side of the Old State House that faces Main Street is actually the rear of the building. So the post office was built right in front of the Old State House. Before the coming of the railroads, visitors would have arrived in Hartford from the river side, the east side of the State House. So it's that side that was the front entrance. But for 60 years, that view was obscured by the post office building, which was enlarged in 1905, and it was finally torn down in 1933, restoring the Old State House lawn. The bird's eye view shows the extensive area of the city developed by the arms manufacturer Samuel Colt, which has recently become a national park. It shows Armsmere, the Colt Mansion on Wethersfield Avenue, which still exists today. There's the park-like grounds of the Colt Estate, part of which is now the city's Colt Park. Of course, there's also the factory area, which includes the old workers' housing and the famous Colt Armory with its signature onion dome. And then there's the Church of the Good Shepherd, which Colt's wife Elizabeth erected as a memorial to her late husband. And just west of the church, across Hendrickson Avenue, is the old baseball grounds, with its very recognizable diamond. From 1874 to 1876, this was the home of the Hartford Dark Blues baseball team. They were a charter member of the National League. The Grand Pavilion, which could seat 800, was erected in 1875 by team president Morgan Bulkeley, the same man the bridge was named for. The bird's eye view was made just in time to capture the baseball grounds because the year it was published, 1877, the team had already relocated to Brooklyn, New York. The team folded the following year. Not far from the baseball grounds, adjacent to Coltsville, along the Connecticut River, was the old mouth of the Park River, called the Little River in colonial times, to differentiate it from the Great River or Connecticut River. The peninsula formed here was called Dutch Point, because just to the south was where the Dutch had had a trading post in the 1600s called the House of Hope. By 1877, the point itself had long been used for manufacturing. This entire area, though, was radically transformed when the Park River was put through an underground conduit in the 20th century. It now goes under the highway at this point, so Dutch Point as a physical feature is now lost. But it was there for centuries, as shown in the bird's eye view of 1877. Moving further into the south end of Hartford, the 1877 view shows a lot of land still to be developed in the area of Broad Street and Zion Street. It was to this neighborhood that Trinity College moved in the 1870s. Founded in 1823 as Washington College, Trinity's original campus was located downtown, where the state capitol is today. To make way for the state capitol, Trinity relocated to the south end to what was called Gallows Hill. In 1877, construction on the new campus was still underway. But the bird's eye view projects forward to what the completed campus was originally intended to look like. This is very different from the campus we know today. It was actually intended to be extensive Gothic quadrangles, as imagined by the English architect William Burgess. As it turns out, only one section of this plan was ever completed, what is known as the Long Walk, which survives, of course, on the Trinity campus today. So in this case, the bird's eye view preserves what might have been, rather than what was actually built. So those are just 5 interesting things that are in the 1877 bird's eye view of Hartford, and I hope to make another video soon with 5 more things, which I also hope you will enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. You can also leave a comment below or hit the like button. It would be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much.